Hello and welcome to I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit, a show where we discuss movies from our childhood, our nostalgia from watching them as kids, how they got made, and our experiences rewatching them as adults. I am one of your hosts, Nick Warner, and joining me as always, Pelton.
Hi.
Hey, I'm excited because we have a very special guest today.
We do. Very special.
Jasmine Brownell. Welcome to the show.
Pronounced correctly this time.
Pronounced correctly.
Oh, great job. Nailed it.
Yeah, so we have been talking, obviously, for the past, 2 hours just catching up.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if the energy is still there.
I will say,
dude, having conversations before this show, because usually I'm just in class and then I just come here and it's
I'm almost at the gym.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then, so we just talked about Disney the whole time and we just caught up about life.
Yeah, I will say, while you guys were catching up in the last 2 hours, I was watching this movie.
Watching the movie, yeah.
Good.
So
yeah,
which is great.
It's fresh though, so that's good.
That's true. Yeah, I remember at least one scene this time.
Oh, great.
I got one.
Yeah. Don't worry, I have everything. Okay, good. But yeah, so the movie we are talking about today is
Wait, should we describe how you know Jasmine for people who don't know?
We can introduce the movie and then we can do that.
Okay. Sorry.
So today, eventually, we are going to be talking about the 2013 movie. This is, I think, the latest.
2013?
Yeah, I was going to say that. I think this is the latest in our childhood
easily,
film that
right?
we were talking about today.
We're usually in the 03 era.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But the 2013 movie from DreamWorks called Turbo.
Yes.
The one about the snail.
Fast snail.
Yeah, for those of you who are wondering. But yeah, so Jasmine and I actually have an interesting story.
Now he's gonna bring it
up. About how we met because we were at dinner and we were talking about it. And I was like, how actually did we meet? Because I was just confused because there's no clear I met Maddie at the pool the first night I was in the Disney College program, right?
Yes.
So for those of you who don't know, Jasmine I met on the Disney College program last spring.
Yeah.
Last spring,
Yeah,
summer.
it's over a year ago at this point.
Over a year ago. And we met because she was roommates with Sam, who is my girlfriend Maddie's twin sister.
Yes.
And that's how I know Jasmine.
It is.
Yeah, it's
a little complicated.
But so what did we come up with? How did we meet?
Because I got home from work one day and you and Sam and Maddie were sitting on my couch, but I had the worst day at work ever. And I texted Sam that I had a bad day. I was like, I'm literally having the worst time today. I want to go home and go to bed and eat and that's it.
Just chill.
And I get home, I had an awful time parking my car for some reason because Flamingo parking was awful.
Yeah, it's
and I parked
rough.
all the way across the parking lot, so I'm already mad. And my shifts was so bad, so I'm already mad. And then I'm walking all the way back across this building, and I go inside, and at this point I'm just bawling my eyes out. I'm just upset. I walk in,
day.
She walks in, she's crying.
and then I'm bawling, and there's Nick, Maddie, and Sam on the couch, and they all just turned to stare at me, and I was like, I'm going to bed.
She sees my ugly mug is hi. And I was
Way to make a day
nice
worse.
to meet you. Yeah, I felt so bad. But then we didn't really cross paths just because with Disney the schedules
never
were just so
lined
up.
crazy and we never saw each other. She worked in Magic Kingdom. I worked in Epcot. It was just a mess.
Yeah, I left Epcot right before you got there to go to Magic Kingdom.
Because he got there.
Yeah, it was his fault.
Yeah, she knew. But then one day, we were talking about this before, but one day my bleach blonde hair at that point got really long, and I was texting Sam, and I was like, Sam, do you or I guess I had mentioned it. I was like, oh man, I need a haircut. But Sam and Maddie took me to get my haircut because I didn't have a car. And the guy was it was the middle of nowhere. The dude was really freaky. I was like, I'm never going to ever get a haircut in Florida ever again in my entire life. And I was like, I wish we knew someone at Flamingo. And Sam was like, well, one of my roommates cuts hair. And I was like, no way.
I don't know why she didn't say that from the beginning. You're looking for someone to do your hair,
true.
and she's like, I'm not going to tell you.
I don't know anyone.
It's a secret.
Because of the Disney thing, we just kept missing each other.
Yeah.
And then finally, one night, I come in and Jasmine's like, let's go, let's do this. And she cut my hair. And I was like, oh, this is great. It was great
Nick
haircut.
just walked in and you grabbed him with scissors?
Yeah, pretty much.
Basically.
He walked in to hang out with Maddie and Sam, and I was there. And usually I wasn't because Emporium had me working till 4 a.m.
Yeah,
every
it was
night.
crazy stuff.
So like I was there and I was home that one night and I was like, Nick, sit down. I'm doing it now.
We sat on the high chair and she cut it. And that's when we like really like bonded. Like that's like when we kind of got to know each other.
That's when you guys
and then we started hanging out and then we did graduation together and it was like a thing. Yeah.
And now we're DTP icons.
We're
DTP icons everywhere.
Yeah, there's a picture of us.
I've seen it. You showed me the picture. Yeah.
Well, for those of you who haven't seen this picture, it's a picture of me, Jasmine, what was it? Amanda, Megan, Sam, and Maddie.
Yeah.
And it's all whatever it was, 6 of us. And yeah, we're throwing our
Disney graduation
caps, which is just like a little Mickey ears. But Disney loves this.
Yeah, they use it for promotion like all the time.
All over.
Yeah,
it's like the Disney College Program one. It's in like the cast info stuff.
Yep. Yeah, it's
crazy. On like the Disney Hub.
Yep.
Every time I see it, I'm like, that's my co-host.
It's on like the Disney College Program, like Instagram, like all over the place. Whenever they promote this like program, they use our faces.
They do.
It's crazy.
Which is like so weird. Compensate me.
Yeah, literally. I'm like, took this picture. But it's funny because the guy who took the picture is like, there's only like one guy that does like all the media for the college program.
I figured, yeah.
So like, I like knew his face. Like I've seen him around with his camera and everything.
Okay.
But so he goes like up to us and he's like, he sees that because Sam did the Disney vlogs.
Oh yeah.
She like vlogged all of her Disney stuff, and he came over. He was like, "Hey, can I take a picture of you guys?" And we're like, "Sure." And he was like, "You guys will see it on the Instagram like tomorrow or like the next couple days." Didn't see it for over a year.
Yeah.
Wait, really?
Magically,
it very recently started circulating.
That long?
Just came back up.
I like
out of
completely
nowhere.
forgot about that
Totally
picture.
forgot. Yeah.
And then, like one of my friends that still works there, she like sent it to me from like a telecast, and I was like,
wait, that's me.
I was like, that's like my whole group chat.
Right. A telecast, by the way, is like a little pamphlet that they give the cast members on like information about the parks,
Thank you.
about the anniversaries, whatever they're celebrating.
He's like my Disney translator.
Yeah. Which is so much fun to do. I love it. Kind of is. I spent like an entire like couple hours one time explaining him the differences between like you know how Tomorrowland is just like its own like separate entity. I was like, Pelton, Tomorrowland isn't a park. It's like a part of a park, and I like explained
like a park
all the
inside
parts.
of a park.
It took a long time.
It was so much fun though. I had such a blast because it was just like doing like the basics. I was like, so the World Showcase is, and then I just like went on.
There's a weird learning curve for this
no,
theme park.
That's fair.
It's bizarre.
I mean, especially if you haven't been in like years. Or
I
never
was like a kid. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Even if you have been though, and you're just working there, like learning it from like the whole like backstage angle is so weird.
Crazy. Yeah, it's tough to navigate. Anyways, we should get into Turbo. That was just a little bit on Jasmine and I. And yeah, we're excited to have you on the show. Very excited to talk about this movie, which she picked. You picked. Very excited. Yeah.
Yes.
So
very excitedly picked this movie.
Yeah. I was gonna say, correct me if I'm wrong. You've seen this movie 30 plus times?
At least.
You said to me because
minimum?
Because
like minimum 30.
That's wild. Because when she came to me with this movie, I was like, yeah, like, are you, like, you got to watch it before the show. Gave her the rundown. And then she was like, oh, no, I'm good. I was like, what? And then she was like, I've seen this like 1,000 times.
No viewing required.
Yeah.
No, not at all.
He was like, make sure you just watch it and like freshen up. And I was like, I watched it like literally 2 weeks ago.
Just off the cuff without having the show in mind at all. So going, I guess, into childhood stories, do you want to start us off? Like, do you have any specific memories of like watching this for the first time or like as a kid? Like, how did this come into your life and become so important?
The first time I ever watched this movie, I hated it.
Really?
I hated this movie.
No way.
I thought it was so dumb. Because I was like, he's a snail. He has no business being fast. Like, that's such a stupid dream. Which is like so mean because here I am like hating on like a kid's movie.
Sure.
I'm like
poor snail's
a freshman
dream.
in high school when this movie comes out.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
oh yeah, 2013. Yeah.
And I'm watching this movie just because like, I don't know, there's nothing else to do. And I'm watching this movie and I'm like, this is so stupid. And like, it wasn't until I did my 2020 college program that this movie like actually like resonated with me.
So you're telling me in the last 3 years you've watched this? Like,
that's like 10 times a year.
This became
There's only
like
12 months.
You just watch it once a month, every month for the past 3 years.
Yeah,
that's
this
incredible.
became like my comfort movie.
Okay.
I did not see that coming at all.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah, I used to hate it.
Oh
That's
my
like
god.
my
It's
biggest fun fact.
it's like a passion.
So wait, when you
Yeah,
watched it
it's
the second time, why did you even put it on?
Because I
Hate
like
watch.
thought I was like maybe I could
Guys,
like
check this out.
I was like maybe I missed something because like I had like my younger cousins and stuff were watching it and they like thought it was great and I'm like okay like yeah you're 8 but like maybe I'm missing something like maybe there is something cool about this
Okay,
movie,
that's
but
fair. You gave it a second
I
chance.
like couldn't do it and then I got fired from my college program and I was like this is like when Turbo's dreams got crushed.
Yeah. Fired, by the way, not because she was a bad employee, but
Oh, no,
because it was the
employee.
pandemic.
Yeah.
And she got released. But yeah, that's awesome. So have you, Pelton? Have you seen this?
No,
movie
I've
as a
not
kid?
watched. No, I
No,
never
not at
watched
all.
it till today.
Oh my God!
This
so
is your
there's-
first time
this is your
watching
first
it.
time.
The only thing I knew
Wow.
about it is that it was a snail that went fast.
Okay,
I knew
so
nothing about
no-
cars, no Ryan
nothing.
Reynolds, nothing. Yeah, it's literally zero.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Because for me, I think this is the first movie we've covered on this show
Okay.
that I saw in theaters.
Oh, first time.
Yeah, because this is the year that, because I was talking to my mom about it,
Okay.
and I was like, "Hey, do you have any memory of Turbo?" Because it's more recent than any movie we've covered.
Mhm.
Yes.
This is the most
Yeah.
recent movie. And she was like, a little. I remember watching it, but I don't remember like where. And
You don't
then I
remember a
was
lot
like,
about it, just-
wait, I vividly like remember seeing parts of this movie in theaters, and also this is the year that Frozen came out, 2013.
Oh, same year.
I'm pretty sure, right? Frozen was 2013, the first one.
I'll double check.
I think so.
Pretty sure.
Or
But
like
anyways,
around then.
yeah, I'm fairly certain that it was like November of 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But
Frozen was 2013.
2013, perfect. Because I was like, dude, remember we had the whole conversation about like
How
young
Frozen went
boys,
crazy?
like that, and then also like young boys like seeing like movies with like female
Oh, yeah.
protagonists, and
Yeah,
then
it had this kind of a weird divide
right,
there.
right,
yeah.
right. And this Frozen was the first year where young boys like me went to go see a movie with a female protagonist,
Okay.
right? And so I was like, Mom, there's no way we didn't see this in theaters. If I saw Frozen in theaters, and
You
that was about
definitely
like
saw
a princess,
Turbo.
I definitely saw Turbo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then I also remember some sort of like promotion for this movie. I couldn't figure out what it was, so I started Googling.
Okay.
And I because originally I was like, McDonald's toys, it has to be, because it's usually what it is.
It's, yeah. Happy
Um,
Meal
Yeah,
stuff.
9 times out of 10, it's like a Happy
Yeah.
Meal
Yeah,
toy.
100%.
Yeah, it doesn't exist.
Oh, they didn't do.
Oh.
Didn't exist.
Oh.
Yeah.
So what is
I-
this memory
So I
you
looked
have?
it up, and I looked at like toys. I looked at like any sort of marketing.
Okay.
Hadn't seen the trailer. Hadn't seen I watched the trailer for the first time today, which we'll get into because that's important.
Oh.
Yeah, important for a specific reason, but I'll get to that.
Okay.
I realized it was just like the poster. Just the poster for the
Oh.
movie. I just remembered the poster. Because again, this is like the first movie where I was like conscious.
Well, you know what's weird? I also
Yeah.
remember
Like,
the
compared
poster.
to like 2003 when Cat in the Hat came out. I don't remember that poster. I was
No,
one.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like I saw this poster in circulation. I'm sure I saw the trailer.
Yeah.
But what I remember was the marketing and like the poster for it specifically. And I
I
was
feel
like,
like
oh,
I
that's
saw
great.
that poster everywhere that
Yeah.
when this movie
Yeah.
came out.
And I was like, I couldn't figure out what it was. And then I looked up the poster and I was
That's the
like,
only
oh, it has
reason
to
I
be
knew this movie was
Yeah.
because of that stupid little poster.
Right.
Yeah.
And
Like burned into my brain.
Well, that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. Like, I feel like even if you've never seen this movie, like you just said, like you've seen that poster.
Yeah.
Like, you
Mhm.
know the poster.
Exactly.
And I was gonna say, I feel like you know the concept if you've seen the poster because it just makes sense.
It's just a
Snail that
snail.
goes
Yeah,
fast.
It's a
you
snail.
get it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it says Turbo.
He goes
Got it.
turbo fast. You're like, what? But yeah, so that's pretty much my childhood. I had to have seen it in theaters, which is
Okay.
awesome because it's the first movie that I could say that I've
You
seen
saw
in
in
theaters that we've covered on the show. All right, moving on into production. So I have a couple things, a couple being quite a lot.
I will say I have none this time. We're
Okay,
back to
yeah,
normal.
yeah, back to normal. We don't have to rush the ending. So it was produced by DreamWorks Animation. This is now the third movie in a row we've covered with
right?
DreamWorks. And this is the third movie in a row from DreamWorks that we've covered that I did not know DreamWorks.
That's true. Every single time.
Every time I'm like watching this and I'm like, what genius company made this movie? And then like the DreamWorks logo pops up and I'm like,
The DreamWorks
Dang.
logo, we'll probably get into this in a second, but it looks weird this time.
It does look different.
Does look
Yeah.
different.
It's like a real kid or something.
It's a real kid.
Well,
He was a real boy.
It's Turbo as a boy.
It's him. We found him. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, but it's I think it's closing in on one of the last times they like get
Oh, because they
relatively
changed it.
creative.
Yeah,
recently. But we've talked a lot about that. But and this one was distributed by 20th Century Fox. So
Oh, it was.
I think last movie was distributed by like Paramount or something.
I think so.
But they have this
there was
weird
a
thing
Fox
where, like,
connection.
Yeah, like DreamWorks like makes the movies, but then they have like no distribution rights.
So they get
for
other
some
companies
reason.
to do it.
Yeah.
I'm assuming this is also pre-Disney.
Which I didn't know. For 20th Century?
Yeah.
Yeah, 20th Century was 2019, I think.
It was pre-pandemic.
But I think the deal, I just read about this. The deal started in 2017 and wasn't officially closed until 2019.
Got it.
I
Okay.
think.
Okay.
Because they had like counter offers.
So this is
et
this is
cetera,
before
et cetera.
Disney ever purchased
Right.
Fox or anything. Okay.
Right. It's directed by a guy named we
Uh-oh.
were just talking about the
We
pronunciation.
can never get
thing
this
before the
right
show.
ever.
So it's David. That's his name. We're
Okay,
just gonna call him
good
David
start.
S.
David
But
S.
his name is David either Soren or Soren.
So David S.
David S.
Okay.
He almost exclusively worked on DreamWorks projects, and this is his feature film directorial debut.
Oh.
Yeah, and I'm pretty sure. Oh, maybe not. I was gonna say I'm pretty sure this is like the last movie he was like one and done. Like most
did
directors
Turbo,
on
then he
here,
got
but
out.
I don't think it is.
Turbo was his dream project.
Turbo and that's it.
Yeah, well, that would have been a pretty cool.
There's no
like,
going
one and
higher
done.
up after
Yeah.
that.
But so David S. Along with 2 other writers, came up with a script after David came to them with the idea. So like this was his like
This is his
his
baby.
baby.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And he simply pitched it as Fast and Furious, but with snails. That
That's-
was the pitch.
That's the vibe of
Which
this
is the
movie for
vibe.
sure.
And I mentioned the trailer for this. I watched it today
Okay.
because I was like, I'm curious if this trailer has any correlation or is similar at all to the Cars trailer, like the movie Cars.
Do you remember the trailer for
2006.
Cars?
I watched it.
Oh, and
today,
prep.
back to back.
Okay.
Because I was like, I have a feeling just based on the way that these movies kind of play out and like the beats,
Yeah.
dude.
Are they
If
identical?
you're a kid, I couldn't tell the difference
Are you serious?
whatsoever.
Yeah, you're
Like-
gonna think it's like the same, minus like that it's a snail.
Well,
Oh,
it's a
snail
snail
versus
versus
a
a talking
but like
car.
it's
The
the
Cars one is a
same.
little
They're that
longer. Yeah,
close?
dude. Because it's like it shows just like the like down on their luck, like gritty, whatever.
Yeah,
and, like
world's
training,
beating them
yeah.
down.
And then they show like the fast cars going by, and it's like with voiceover, but instead of like Owen Wilson, it's Ryan Reynolds, like et cetera, et cetera. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it was wild, and like my little hypothesis that I came up with like literally an hour ago was, or 5 hours ago, whatever, was correct. I was like, wow, these are
Yeah,
extremely
They're
similar,
almost
Mhm.
it's like
but like
parallel.
almost 10 years later, and they just made
Oh, yeah, 'cause Cars
but
was
with
way earlier.
2006.
Yeah.
They made Cars but with snails.
With the
And then
snail.
Fast and Furious but with snails. It's so weird how close this movie is.
What's
which
actually
comes
so
later.
weird about you saying that is the first time I watched Cars, I also hated it.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I think
You
you
just-
just
you
hate
just don't
movies
like
at first.
movies.
Yeah, maybe I just don't like animated movies. Maybe that's
You
it.
still like movies where they go fast.
Yeah. I guess I'm just not a car person or a snail person.
Yeah.
At first.
At first.
Yeah.
And
Then
then
it
you
grows on
love
me.
them.
Yeah, you come
Yeah.
around.
Mhm.
But and basically what happened is the way that this movie got like greenlit
Okay.
is,
Which I can't believe.
yeah, I cannot believe it. But this is the first time we really like find out like exactly how it happened.
Oh,
like exactly how it
okay.
happened. So DreamWorks hosted a pitch competition.
What?
Where employees could pitch a 1-page idea, and David S., our lovely director, pitched his Fast and Furious Snails idea, and won. He won.
Are
that
you
was
serious?
the winning idea. Mind you, this is not in like the 90s or like some like ragtag like
No,
when they were
this
making
is
Star Wars.
DreamWorks is
This
no joke at this point.
This is 2012 or like 2010, 2009 whenever they started this production. He came into the
Wow.
office and was like, Fast and Furious, Bowie Snails. And they were like, yeah,
Done.
go
Done.
ahead. Let's start production tomorrow.
Now-
yeah, crazy.
I didn't know that's how it like started.
Yeah, no,
I,
That's so
I
weird.
doubt we could find this, but do we know what the other pitches were?
no.
Dang.
I wish.
I know.
I wish they just had like a
Because
list.
that's a weird pitch.
It is a very weird.
So the other
pitch.
ones must have been bizarre.
Yeah, because how do you like do that without?
How do you land on
Yeah,
Fast and
If it
Furious
was
but with
snails.
snails?
and then also, actually, I'm pretty sure I have the answer to
Wait, really? No way.
that. Or no, I'm sorry, not the answer to that, but the
Oh.
answer kind of.
You
Okay,
got so
okay.
excited
Hear
for
me
it.
out.
I
Hear
thought
me
you
out.
had
Hear me
the
out.
answer.
Hear me out. So DreamWorks bought the idea
Okay.
after the pitch,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but shelved it for roughly 5 years. So this actually
Oh,
was,
so it was-
several years before.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Apologies.
It's
But
okay.
David and his family moved into a house that was infested with snails.
Are you
And
serious?
he
No way.
immediately went to DreamWorks and pushed for the idea to be made.
It was a sign.
Yeah, he was like,
snails called
no
to
way,
him.
no
He said,
way. This is
Turbo lives
impossible.
at my house.
Yeah.
So
Guys, I found Turbo.
Guys, there's one that's going real fast. I think we gotta do it, guys. Sorry, but it's a necessity. And just a couple other things. It had a $127 million budget, which is again
Wow.
close to like Flushed
That's
Away,
like Flushed Away
Chicken
money.
Little.
Yeah.
Higher, I think we discussed. Over the Hedge was a lot lower.
Yeah, a lot
But this
lower,
one,
yeah.
127 million, gross to 82, so it didn't make a lot of money.
No.
I
I was
Yeah.
gonna say, I feel like I heard that it didn't do.
No,
that
it didn't do great. No. So they also had an Indy car parked inside the DreamWorks studios during production to provide artists immediate access to the race cars featured in the film, which I think is pretty cool.
Oh, that's kind of
Yeah.
a cool idea.
So like if they
Yeah.
wanted to know like exactly like how the engine moves or like
could just
the,
go to, like, the lobby.
Literally
tire-
just
yeah,
go.
and
Yeah.
they're just like they just look under the car.
Oh, got it.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, okay, just draw it.
Okay,
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
kind
pretty
of a
dope.
clever idea.
Yeah, just a few more things. Critics praised the animation, humor, and voice acting, but absolutely came after the lack of originality. They hated how
which is
non-original
fair.
this is.
Yeah.
Which makes sense though once you like think about like the Cars trailer and this trailer being exactly
Identical.
like, the same.
Yeah.
And then
Like-
again, his pitch was literally Fast and Furious, but
with
snails.
snails.
And then you
Yeah.
watch the movie and you're like, oh, it's Fast and
That's
Furious
what it
with
is.
snails.
Like
Yeah.
it's literally Fast and Furious.
It's
with snails.
crazy. And okay, a guy by the name of Henry Jackman, no affiliation to Hugh
Or Samuel L.
or Samuel L. That was fun. That was good. That was good. He scored the film, so he's a composer. This is his third movie for DreamWorks after Monsters vs. Aliens and Puss in Boots.
Oh, which will probably be on the show eventually.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And he was kind of Hans Zimmer's like protege.
Oh,
kind
no
of.
way.
Yeah, he like worked on a couple of things with Hans Zimmer, which do you know what that is?
No.
He's like a very famous composer in the industry, and he's
Yeah.
like this legend along with
John Williams.
John Williams, there you
Yeah.
go. John Williams is the guy who did Harry Potter and
Star
Star Wars,
Wars.
all the big ones.
Okay.
Yeah.
But Hans
okay,
Zimmer
yeah,
is
yeah.
like the next, in my
Yeah.
opinion, like the next best, and he did
Yeah.
like a bunch
He's
of
a
stuff.
bit younger, you
Yeah.
know.
But this guy Henry Jackman was kind of his protege. Like he worked
That's kinda cool.
very very
Okay.
closely with him, and this was like his, not his first thing that he did by himself, but one of like the ones where he just did it pretty much on his own.
Yeah, he was starting to kind of
Yeah.
adventure out. And I would say this soundtrack is just iconic as Star Wars.
I would say so.
Yep.
Yeah.
100%.
I if you asked me right now, I couldn't name one single song that was in this movie or score whatsoever. Like if you said
Yeah, I
like
couldn't
hum a
either.
melody from Turbo, I'd be like, what?
What do you mean?
Well,
Isn't that the
Snoop
Turbo
Dogg
song?
did songs for this
yeah,
movie.
he
That
did,
is
he
true.
did, he
Snoop
did.
Dogg did do a song with this movie.
Did he do the credit song?
Yeah.
I think he
Like,
did like two
did
songs,
Snoop
didn't
Dogg
he?
did
a
like
couple
two
of them.
songs because he
Yeah.
did one for like part of the race that he was like in. Well, obviously, 'cause
Yeah.
he's in the movie.
Yeah.
But
And
and
then
then
the
I think he did the
credit
Yeah, he
credits.
was
Yeah.
in the movie.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Which
I
I
cannot
didn't
believe
realize
it.
for
We'll get
so
to that.
long.
Yeah.
That was
Yeah.
wild to me.
It was crazy. So in Chile,
Nailed
that
it.
country,
Yeah.
Chile.
We'll look it up
Uh,
later, then cut the one you
this-
got right.
Yeah,
That you did.
I will. You know I'll do that. So this movie, this was Turbo only,
Turbo, yes.
was the first movie to play in the 4DX format, which if you don't know what that is, it includes strobe lighting, motion, wind, water sprays, and aroma effects.
This was
That's
the first one
actually crazy.
ever.
The first one ever in Chile.
Oh my god.
Because I feel like though, because I've seen other movies in 4DX, like I saw Avatar
Yeah,
in
yeah,
4DX and it was sick, and
Yeah.
I feel like if I had seen Turbo for the first time in 4DX, I would have loved it.
Yeah.
Because it
would've
would
had
have
a
been like the
heart
full
attack. Are you
experience.
kidding?
I would have
Heart
loved
attack.
it.
That's
That
a
would have been so
stroke.
sick.
Oh my god, that's awesome.
I don't care. I would have loved it.
That's so funny. Yeah, but so
Because
this,
then you would be
is
moving
the first
like
movie.
your Turbo and his little races, and that would have been
Sure.
sick.
He
That
goes
would've- I feel like-
300 miles per hour.
Well, like you
I'm sure. Yeah,
imagine
I'm
it's like a
sure-
Disney ride and you're actually like moving.
It's a launch coaster. Yeah, they
Yeah.
just you're like, oh god.
It's like Rock and Roller Coaster, but like Turbo.
20 people found dead at Disney parks. What happened?
I just picture the like rock and roller coaster. You launch into darkness, but then
Yeah.
on the sides it's like Snoop Dogg as a snail.
Yeah.
Samuel
And
Jackson.
you're sitting and like you're hooked into like a little turbo.
Yeah.
That would have been so
that would have
fun.
been so fun.
It's like a
We
little
need to
shell
pitch
on the
this to
back.
Disney. This
We
is
do.
this
Well,
idea is
this is-
copyrighted.
Okay.
So when they eventually, because they've been talking about a retheme on that ride
Yeah.
for a while.
Turbo.
Screw the
And
the
it's right next to
Beatles
Cars.
idea or like the Queen idea. We're doing Turbo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for the retheme. But so I thought that was funny because imagine being like in Chile and like being a resident and being like, we're introducing this new format.
resident.
Oh, what is
Go
that?
see, go see, and then you see Turbo and you're like, you either love it or you hate it.
Or you
that's
leave
like that's the
in
movie
an
where you
ambulance.
either, or you
You're
die.
actually having a heart attack.
Right. And then the final thing I have is the street race where Turbo gets his powers is inspired by the Fast and Furious films.
Shocker.
They literally have the black car that's made to look like Toretto's Charger, and the other car is Brian's green Eclipse.
Oh, there you go.
It's literally the two
I
cars.
didn't realize the cars were the same, but it's
Yeah.
very Fast and Furious. That
Very,
scene.
very
Yeah.
Fast and Furious. The like drag race thing.
I actually realized that when I was like rewatching it. I was like,
Yeah.
because I was like, I feel like that car looks so familiar.
Mhm. Well, it's even down to like they have the black car, which is Toretto, like Dom Toretto's car,
Yeah.
do the wheelie to begin with,
Yeah.
which happens in the movie.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah,
I've
it's
never
like
seen it, to be fair.
down
but-
to it's crazy.
He really said
Um,
Fast and Furious with a snail.
Yeah, and then they were like, let's just copy that one.
What if we
We'll
just did
put
the
it
scene,
in
though?
animation?
Yeah.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's different. And yeah, and that's all I have on production. Which I mean, all I have it's quite
Okay.
a lot, but I thought that was like
Definitely
a good
a
amount
weird
of
backstory.
Yeah, weird backstory.
Yeah.
I didn't know. I think it's interesting that it was just like a pitch. Like,
Yeah, just a
come
one-page.
pitch your ideas.
Yeah.
I thought it was
crazy.
pitched. It was then shelved.
Yeah.
Then he met the real life Turbo.
Yeah.
And
It's
then they
like,
were
we gotta
like,
bring
we're
this
doing
back.
this movie. There's
They
actually no
immediately-
choice
they
anymore.
immediately put it into production, and they were like, "You're doing this because your house is
Because your house is
sorry."
infected.
They didn't even like the idea. They were just like, "This guy needs to get paid.
Yeah.
He needs to get out of
Yeah.
there."
So can we make this movie and also can I sleep on the couch tonight?
Yo, do you guys have a little one-bedroom apartment for me in
sleep in the
DreamWorks
studio.
Studios? And that's the down on that. Jasmine, I know you said earlier that you came with notes, which is
Yeah.
amazing, best guess ever. But do you have anything like on the production, or is it more like plot? Because we're about to get into plot, so it's up to you.
Production-wise, the only thing I really had was for some reason, like, this is weird to say though, because as someone that didn't even like the movie to begin with, I would have thought it did better.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
that's
it's
true.
so similar to Cars, and Cars did
Yeah.
Cars did really well.
Yeah.
So like,
That's true.
with
And
the
Fast and Furious
yeah,
honestly is great.
Fast and
Yeah.
Furious is still going.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So
Yeah, they're new
They're
movies
making
coming
a
out this
new
year.
one.
Isn't it Fast 10?
Yeah.
Yeah.
X, the final Fast.
Well, allegedly.
Right. Fast X, the final Fast, the one where they actually fast and don't eat.
Yeah. It has nothing to do with cars at all.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going on a diet as a family.
No, I'm not doing it this episode. I'm not doing it. I'm not
That's
doing
what
it.
you do it.
I'm not doing it. The family.
Boom.
So, all right, going into plot. I watched this, I think, like 4 or 5 days ago. 3
Okay.
days ago. So again, bear with me if my notes don't make sense.
I watched
But
it
they
an
should.
hour ago, so
But
I
they
got
should.
you.
But they should. So we open with Turbo pretending to win the Indy 500 with the race on the TV. So he like
Yeah, in the
sticks
garage or
himself-
something.
Yeah. And already I was immediately thrown off by Ryan Reynolds.
Same.
Immediately.
Because again, I don't
Yeah.
know anything about this movie, so I didn't realize he was in it.
I didn't either.
Yeah, so the first time I dialogue, you know how, okay, so in Over the Hedge, it took me a good 10, 20 minutes to realize it was Bruce Willis.
I never realized it was him.
Oh, there you go. This
Yeah.
one took me the first word
Yeah.
I'm
spoken.
actually just finding out that was Bruce Willis right now.
See,
Yep,
there you
exactly.
go. Like,
Yeah.
no one,
He's
yeah.
amazing.
Like, he does a good job.
He's amazing.
But this is just Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so shocking.
And it was so like again almost exactly like Cars, where it literally just opens with him being like speed. I am speed. And you're like,
Yeah.
where is Owen Wilson right now? Like,
I'm
what's
like, did I
going
put on the right movie?
Yeah, what's happening? Why is he not a talking car? Why is he snail? But yeah, I was thrown off. But it's like because I love Ryan Reynolds so much,
Okay.
but then like I can't picture him.
As
Like
a
I
snail?
can't even like even watching. Well, yes, but even like watching the screen, I'm like seeing him as a snail, and
Yeah.
I'm still just picturing him saying the words.
Yeah, that,
Yeah.
I
Like,
ran into the
almost
same
took me
problem.
out. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like really, I feel like it's just hard to associate him with Turbo.
That's the
Yeah.
It was
Which-
almost that's one of my complaints about this movie. It's almost distracting.
Yeah, does
especially
like
because you know him in like other things. too.
Deadpool.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Everything.
Yeah, he's such a big. I mean,
Yeah.
to be fair, so is Bruce Willis, but
Sure.
he's
But-
such an like Ryan Reynolds always just plays Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah.
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 So you
Bruce
hear
Willis is
him-
more
And then
of
you
a
hear
character.
him, and then you
Yes.
see this little snail in front of a
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah,
like,
it's
what's
like-
going on?
Puts on the Deadpool mask. But yeah, so then his brother Chet, which is just another snail. I think it is his brother, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
His
they
brother,
say
right?
I don't know if
Yeah.
they're like biological brothers,
Yeah,
but they're
I
like
don't
My
know.
brothers and
brothers.
Chubb was
Yeah.
my favorite.
Chet's
I
pretty
loved
cool.
him.
Yeah, he's pretty
Um,
cool.
Tells him to sleep, but instead he trains. So he goes up and he has like this big clock behind him, and he like tries to go from one end of a ruler to another, and it's like a
Oh,
super
yeah.
epic scene. And then boom, he gets there, and it's been 17 minutes. But
Okay.
it's a new record. Which is
I
pretty
have
cool.
so I have not like notes, but I wrote down two things
Okay.
that I was later going to do research on.
Yeah.
And I did try to do it, but I'm not smart enough.
Okay. Fair enough.
And I feel
Oh.
bad because my dad is a math professor,
right.
like at college.
Yeah.
So I know he
At
would know how to do
college.
this
At college university.
at a college university. Well, he was. Now he lives in Ecuador.
yeah.
But he would know how to, if I called him and was like, hey, what is this? He would tell me in 2 seconds. So he's going to be very shamed that I don't know what this is. But he
The
did.
quadratic formula.
It took him 17 minutes to do 36 inches.
Yes.
So my question was, how many miles per hour is that? How slow or
Okay.
fast is he really going?
Yeah.
And is that the real pace of a snail?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff like this
Oh,
in this
that's
movie.
interesting. I
Yeah,
didn't
where I
even
was like, do you
calculate
think
that.
the math they actually did it based on the real
well,
animal?
They definitely did when he was racing. 200 miles an hour. That's easy.
Yeah.
yeah,
obviously.
easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
At one point they said he did 300.
Are you serious?
Yeah, it was like an offhanded comment from
Oh,
like one
maybe
of the
towards the
Taco
end.
Brothers. Yeah, I think it's
Yeah.
like 300.
The
Taco
Taco
Brothers.
Brothers.
what's their
That
business
is
called?
That is canon.
The point is, the whole movie, I was like, I wonder if they really tried to like stick with real snail stuff.
Yeah.
Or they just went screw it, like, oh, logic out the window. I just thought it'd be funny.
Okay.
and I don't know how the answer.
I was like,
I have no idea.
I know. I thought you were like gonna like end that with the
like,
answer, and I was like,
Well, the only way I could find that out is if I got a snail and timed them.
or you could just like look.
How do you look that up?
Fast
just
snails
Google
go.
how fast.
Oh, I could have done that.
It's fine. It's fine. So,
It's impossible to
it's
find
impossible.
out.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Yeah, that is interesting though. I wonder if
Yeah,
they did.
it's just a little interesting note where I was like, I wonder how close they stuck with it.
True.
A garden snail clocks in at around 0.03 miles per hour.
Okay, cool.
So how do we translate that to inches in 17 minutes?
We'll ask your dad after the show.
Yeah,
I'll
Dad.
give it at the end. So then they go to work the next morning at a plant, which is literally just like
It's a little garden, right?
Mhm.
with tomatoes.
It's a tomato garden.
Yeah. And Turbo's job is to catch all the overripe tomatoes, which is really depressing to watch.
Yes.
He takes
It is.
one and races against it, and everyone like just makes fun of him.
Yeah.
Because
Now I have a
he's,
question
like,
about
this.
this.
He like wants to be this fast snail, but everyone's like, dude,
You're a snail. What
you're
are you
full
doing?
of it. Like
Yeah.
you just got to go with the flow.
It was like how you felt
Especially
watching
Chet.
this movie the
Yeah,
first time.
exactly. Especially with that opening scene, I was like, this is so dumb.
You're like, cool it, nerd.
You're a little
Like,
snail
what are you
idiot.
doing?
Okay, I have 2 questions about this scene.
Okay.
I feel bad because I'm coming off the bat with
No,
so
no,
many
please.
questions.
You're
But I
good.
don't know anything about snails. Are snails
I don't
known for
either, to be fair.
Okay. Are snails known for eating tomatoes? Is that like a snail thing?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
No,
Fair enough.
dude, I'm totally joking. I have
No, I
idea.
think they do though because my mom had a garden.
Your mom's
Oh.
a snail.
Yeah.
Oh, check that out. Yeah.
My mom's actually Turbo. That's why I love this movie.
It's a
No,
documentary.
but this was my family story. No, but my mom had like this garden, and there were always like snails all around it,
Mhm.
Oh.
which like, and it was like strawberries and like tomatoes, and I want to say she had mint, but then she like took all the mint out because it took
Okay.
over. Anyways,
Okay.
not relevant.
Mm-hmm.
But I want to say that the reason it kept like failing was because the snails were all over it. But I don't know if maybe it was just the leaves
Interesting.
Okay.
of the tomatoes and not like the
Not the
actual
tomato
fruit
itself.
because the acidity or something.
Maybe.
Okay.
But-
But they are known for being in gardens. Like
Yeah.
that is a real thing.
yeah.
Well,
Okay.
they're- I
They're
mean,
garden.
Well, they do say
snails.
garden snail, but
like 100 times in the movie.
okay.
It's okay.
Yeah,
It's
because
okay. It's
that's
okay.
what they kept telling
Hurtful.
Turbo. They were like, "You're just a garden snail."
Yeah,
Yeah, it's like an insult.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
An insult.
And
And
then me
then-
as a kid, I'm like, "Yeah, you're a garden
Hey,
snail."
little loser, little garden snail. And then my second question
Mhm.
is I don't know how long they've been in this garden, and I don't know how long they've been doing this.
Right.
But we see, not like a montage, but we see a little scene of Turbo failing to catch the like rotten tomatoes.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like he's trying all
Yeah,
different ways
every time.
But how long have they been doing this?
I feel like for a while, because isn't there
Forever.
like
Yeah.
isn't there like a grandma in there or something, like a
Yeah, I
grandma
think so.
snail?
Yeah. So how has he not figured this out by now? This
Because
has
he
been
was
his
too
job
busy
for
trying
years.
to race.
Yeah.
He's trying to be fast.
He's just too busy trying to be fast.
He also might have gotten like demoted after like maybe he was just like
Oh, he could have had a
messing
different
around.
job.
Yeah, and he was like trying to go fast, and they were like,
Could have
get
been
down there.
Could be. Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah, so Chet tries to talk him out of like the speed stuff, quote unquote.
Yeah.
And
sounds like he's on drugs.
yeah.
No more
It's
speed
no
for
more
you.
speed. And then a kid on a tricycle rides by, and he seems to be like a looming figure, right? He's just like this scary
Oh yeah,
dude.
the little kid in like a
Yeah.
big wheel or something.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And then he watches his hero, Guy Paul, on the TV.
Deep cut.
Jasmine, for reference, Guy Paul is one of Pelton's high school friends.
Yes.
That's why.
But yeah, this guy's name is Guy, and I could not stop thinking about Guy Paul
I had
this
the
entire
same
movie.
thought,
Yeah. But so he watches him on the TV, and then he accidentally smashes the TV, which is unfortunate because this is like the one way that he watches like his hero.
Yeah.
This is like racing
Doesn't he
hero.
like spill a drink on it?
Yeah, and then it like falls and like breaks.
Yeah.
or whatever. I
It
don't know.
destroys it.
Which is like so weird. Like you're literally a snail. How'd you do that much damage?
That's a lot of force for a
Yeah.
TV.
Yeah. And then he tries to like save Big Red, which is like
Oh yeah, this beautiful
big-
juicy tomato.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
falls
the
into the
perfect
garden.
what
tomato.
happens? He like tries to save it, and then it like
It like falls out of like the thing or whatever. But then it kind of starts like rolling out,
yeah.
and the lawnmower's coming.
Oh,
so
right. He has
he's
a
thinking
lawnmower.
that he can go and
Yeah.
Yeah,
be a really
'cause-
fast snail. That he's not fast.
Right.
He's a snail.
little garden snail.
And then that's when everyone's like, "No, leave it," and he's like, "No, I
Now's
can
my
do
moment.
it."
He
Because
almost
Guy
gets
Paul
there.
told him to
Guy
do
Paul
it.
told him to do
Yeah,
it.
he did. He did almost get there.
He almost got there, and then
he didn't.
he gets saved
By his brother,
someone.
right?
Yeah, like they like
Yeah.
shoot something at him, and he like gets knocked over.
Yeah, he was at the hose.
I was a
Yeah.
hose.
Shoot him out of the way.
But yeah, so all hope is lost. He's moping around the city. He
Because
falls.
they got kicked out.
Yeah, he falls off the highway.
Yeah. Okay. Wait, hang on. Before we get to how stuff, because that was another. Because maybe I just like blacked out for a minute, but he gets saved by the hose.
Yeah.
In my memories, no one in the garden was like, "You're not welcome here anymore." He just turned around and just like slugged off.
Well, no one really. I don't think someone said something.
Did they?
They were just like shaming him, and then they get fired later. We'll get
that's
to that.
later on. Yeah. But I was
he
like,
just kind of like mopes
he
around.
Felt bad.
Yeah.
And
I was like shocked he left that far. Like I was, he's just gone now.
Oh no, he like went on a journey.
Yeah, he's like screw you. Like I was blown away.
Yeah. But yeah, so all hope is lost. He's snailing around on the highway, and then he falls off the highway, and he ends up on the front of a car for a drag race. This is the Dom Toretto Fast and Furious scene. And then he falls into like what was it, nitrous or like something like that?
It's the nitrous oxide.
Nitrous
yeah,
oxide.
He falls like in the inner workings of the car, and then Dom Toretto cranks it.
Yeah. And I made a note here. I really like just generally. This has nothing to do with like this part, but I think this is kind of where it like starts. I like how they use their eyes as like hands and feet and like you know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're like clapping and they're like knocking their
yeah.
eyes together. I just think that's funny. That was just a note. And so
very supportive.
So thank you. But yeah, so he like falls into like this nitrous oxide and he gets his powers, right?
Which I was stunned.
Crazy.
As someone who didn't know what this movie was about, I didn't realize he'd get superpowers from Dom Toretto.
Yeah.
That was a little.
It's merging. David S. He
right.
he had to keep that. He was like, nah, if he's gonna get powers, he's gonna get them from the family.
That's how I got my pet snail powers.
Yeah,
I mean,
in my pet snail, I saw Dom Toretto on the street, and then I saw my snail, and then he got powers, and then I put him in the movie. But
it isn't animated.
Yeah,
it's live action.
But so his eyes become headlights, and he starts like freaking out.
Yeah,
like, he doesn't know what's going on. These powers are coming in, and he's
that was also weird.
Really freaking out. Yeah.
As a kid, I assumed this was just a fast snail. I didn't realize he becomes a car.
Yeah,
that's wild.
Yeah,
like he's making all the brake sounds.
Like, because the radio.
Oh
yeah. When he turns into like the radio, and then it like hurts his eyes.
It's like Bumblebee for most of the movie.
Yeah,
it's where it just like randomly comes on, and you're like, where this dude is pulling from every movie that he's ever seen. But yeah, so he makes it back to the plant, and he essentially becomes a radio, and he tries to figure out his powers.
Yeah.
Doesn't he like tries to show everyone too, and everyone's like,
whatever.
Yeah.
And then does he almost kill the kid? I don't know if you have that in your notes.
Yeah.
Not kill,
but he like
definitely does some mental
big
trauma to him.
But he doesn't even mean to. He like doesn't even know what's going on, which is like
that's
kind
true.
of.
It was
also the kid like tries to like kill him.
Yeah, tries to kill him.
Literally tries to murder him. But then he finds out he has super speed. That's how he finds out. Because the kid on the trike is like running,
he's like almost about to hit him, and so he's like
boom.
Yeah, they just
and then he's like the Flash. Dude, it's every movie.
That's also my thought. It's like the Flash.
And then he's super fast. He's going crazy. Traumatizes this kid, and then he destroys the tomato plant where the snails work. With the kid's trike.
With the big wheel.
Yeah. He spins it super fast or something. And then
and he just smashes into the garden or something.
And then he gets himself and Chet fired. This is where they get fired.
That's when
so the guy with the mustache,
the
like J. Jonah Jameson character again, every single movie. This dude with the mustache, this snail with a mustache. He comes in and he's like, "You guys are fired. Get out of here."
Yep.
Chet's like, "No, one more chance."
I didn't do anything.
And then the
like, it wasn't me, it was him.
Yeah. And he's like, "One more chance." He's like, "I'm not giving you any more chances.
Yeah.
Get out of here. You're fired."
Yeah.
That was like Disney.
Yeah. Literally. I didn't do anything. No, I'll leave.
No, you got 3 days. Get out.
Yeah. Good luck. But yeah, so Chet and Turbo argue, about this whole thing, and a crow takes Chet away. The crows I
forgot about that too.
And they like steal the snails, and then they all just like continue
every day
on with their day. Yeah,
there's like murder every single day.
There goes Joe. Bye, Joe. He's dead now.
Yeah,
and then just like accept it.
I was stunned.
Yeah, this like town is like traumatized and also like severely depressed.
Yeah,
I think it's really funny how we're calling it a town. It's literally the smallest little garden.
Well, it's their it's a little
their
society.
little town.
Yeah,
that was like.
But they really just skirt past that and then just
murder every single day.
Rory's gone. Bye, Rory.
There were so many times in this movie, more than I think any movie we've watched on this show, which is saying a lot, where I was like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
like I just wasn't what I was expecting. I knew it was a fast snail. I didn't realize he'd become a car. That snails are dying every single day. That he'd meet the Taco Brothers. I was like, this is the strangest direction this movie could have taken ever.
Well, I remembered, obviously seeing this in theaters. I have no recollection of Tito, who is one of the Taco brothers.
Really?
No
He's
recollection
like my favorite
whatsoever.
character.
Oh, same.
He's
Yeah.
like the best Taco brother.
Yeah, he is the best of the two
Yeah.
Taco
Of the two
brothers.
Taco brothers.
The other one's kind of mean.
Yeah, he's kind of mean.
He comes
but so
around.
is Chet. Yeah, but they both come around.
Yeah.
But yeah, so Turbo like super speeds over to the crow and Chet, and he saves him, which is like the first time anyone's ever been saved from a crow. Like he's not going to the high heavens above.
That's
yeah.
also like the first time that Turbo actually did something that was like good.
Yeah,
That's true.
yeah.
It's just
He
like a
doesn't really
nuisance.
like
Yeah.
mess up. But yeah, so Tito, which is one of the Taco brothers.
Yes.
Okay, to explain, it's these two like dudes that own this little like taco like stand in this little like plaza with a bunch of different like shops, and they don't really get a bunch like much business.
No.
They don't really get many
not doing
people coming
great.
around. But
Turbo.
like yeah, until Turbo. But Tito, his brother, and like all of the people that own all the other businesses are like a little group of friends, similar to Turbo, Chet, and the people or like the snails they eventually meet, which
Yes.
we're gonna talk about.
Yeah. 'Cause that's
but
a
it is
cast of
interesting. 'Cause it's like
characters.
it's like a weird like dynamic.
Nope.
Yeah, Snoop.
Snoop's
Um,
coming.
But so Tito scoops them up and takes them to this underground like snail racing ring, which is just the
Oh,
people,
yeah,
which I
yeah,
didn't know
yeah.
they like did that, which is weird.
Is that a
I
real
wonder
thing
if that's,
people
like, a real
do?
Oh, okay.
Oh,
yeah,
there you
no,
go. Yeah,
I
that's a real
don't
thing.
think so, but
I've
just
never
in this
heard of
movie, I
that.
just like didn't. I was like, oh,
I
this
feel
is
like
like
it could be a real thing because how do you
strange.
just make? Well, I guess it's a snail Fast and Furious movie, so I guess
Yeah,
you
I
could
guess
just
so.
make it
Stolen
up.
that,
yeah.
But
But yeah, so then they race the other snails, and Turbo like wins by a landslide, obviously.
Yeah,
He,
he's
like,
got
just
super speed. Yeah.
Because he's a
flashes over
car.
there. Yeah, he literally is a car.
Yeah. He's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah. So then that's the movie. No, Tito.
Thanks for listening.
So
It
yeah,
ends.
and Tito kind of finally finds his claim to fame in Turbo because like he's like down on his luck, he's struggling, and his brother's like, come on, you gotta like make the tacos, and he's like,
Yeah.
no, I have something
But
more
snails.
in
Yeah.
life. Yeah, I have something more in life. And then Turbo comes along, and he is like, you're my claim to fame, and he like tucks him in at night.
Yeah, it's really. He has like
That's
a
it.
warm tortilla.
Turbo's
Yeah.
like his like little like baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Like that's like his pride and joy.
It's like a
His brother's
third
like,
little
"That's
Taco
so
brother."
Stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Which like was also like me, so I can't even like say that.
So then we meet this cast of characters, which is the snails in the like ring that eventually become Turbo's like best friend.
Yeah.
So we have Whiplash, who is Sam Jackson, which is like the leader of the group.
Yep.
Then we have White Shadow, Skid Mark, Burn, and Smooth Move, which is just Snoop Dogg playing himself.
It's just Snoop Dogg
Yeah.
playing
which
Snoop Dogg.
like when isn't he? But also like this, it's just amazing to see him as like this
in
like
a kids movie.
yeah this like lanky
Yeah.
like
Smooth
hey
talking
dude.
snail.
Yeah, it's awesome. But Whiplash and Turbo's egos cross, and they all race. And Turbo's impressed with like how cool they are,
Mhm.
and he kind of like I think he loses that race.
He
right?
loses, yeah, because he gets caught on like a wire pole
Yeah.
or
Right,
something.
right.
Yeah.
But so he's like impressed with like their like swagger, and he stays a while. He's
Dude,
like
who
there
wouldn't be
for the-
impressed?
Yeah, exactly.
If I had met Samuel L.
Sam-
Jackson and Snoop Dogg in the same room
As a
snails,
snail?
as a snail too, yeah.
That's insane.
And Tito's big like thing that he comes across is like, I want to enter you in the Indy 500, and
Yeah.
and the main reason is like you have this talent, but it's also going to expand the eyeballs that are going to see our business, and they're all going to come to our business. That's like his
Now,
grand plan.
I have a question.
Yeah.
Because I know you watched this back when did you first watch this again?
2013 when it came out.
When it came out, and then you also watched it when it came out.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you know the answer to this,
Right.
but when you first watched it, did you expect him to go all the way to like the big race that he saw in the beginning?
Yeah.
You did.
Probably. I mean,
I feel like I
now-
only expected it though because like
You thought this movie was
like,
dumb?
Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's like
He
okay,
fails,
of
movie
course
ends.
he's gonna go. Like
Yeah.
they're not gonna put this movie in with a snail that wants to be a car and then not let him go.
Yeah.
Like,
See, I thought, but again, I didn't watch this like when it came out. When I was watching this, I was like, oh, he found this little underground ring. He'll become like the leader of like the snails. Like that'd be the whole movie. I did not expect him to race against humans and cars.
yeah.
Like, that blew me
I
away.
think that threw me off a little, even rewatching it. I
yeah,
was like,
he's
wait,
we're going to
he's just
Indianapolis. I'm like,
gonna-
nuh-uh, no
Yeah,
way.
No
There's
matter
no way
how
they're
many
doing
times
this.
I've seen it, it still throws me off like a
Yeah,
little
it's a
bit because I'm
little
just like,
weird.
those are real cars.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
a real humans.
Again, people
yeah.
Yeah, that too.
But yeah, so Tito and his brother fight in parallel to Turbo and Chet, saying that the idea is crazy, which objectively it is.
Yeah, no,
like,
that's
objectively,
the thing,
there's
the-
no argument.
The other
here.
Taco brothers like seen as like kind of a jerk, but he's right.
Right. Also, just a general note that I have written down here is Tito and his friends just kind of accept this that the snail is a freak of
It's
nature.
like a god. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
almost immediately.
I know.
They
which
didn't
freaks
question
me
it like
out.
at all.
Nope.
They were just
But-
like,
Yeah, and it
Yeah.
also like
Makes
reminded
sense.
me a little bit of the lady in the B movie. She was like, and then she was like, okay, you talk.
Yeah, no problem.
Yeah, it was crazy. Again, future episode, tune in. So then the snails hijack a bus to get the taco place more customers. And it convinces Tito's friends to give him the $20,000 he asked to get him into the Indy 500.
Yes.
Right? So now they're all ready to go, and we have yet another
montage.
Oh boy, it's great. Of them all driving there and souping up Turbo Shell, which is so epic.
Do you think DreamWorks makes it a requirement to have a montage in their movies?
Every movie from
100%.
that we're ever gonna cover in this, yeah, it's
As a
always
montage,
gonna have
yeah.
a montage. Always. Yeah. So then they get to Indianapolis, and Tito tries to register him in the race, and it doesn't work. And Guy is there.
Paul.
Guy Paul is there, and he's faster than ever. This dude's clocking in like record breaking.
Yeah.
It's
Borderline.
crazy.
What was it, like 225 or something crazy like that? Yeah.
And
Which my Mini Cooper can do.
yeah,
no problem.
obviously,
Yeah.
My,
I did that on my way here. What are you talking
yeah,
about?
yeah. You got here record
time.
time. I was actually surprised.
She actually lives in Florida. She got here in 20
Yeah, yeah,
minutes.
She sped all the way up here. She's like, "No, I'm Turbo. That's what we cover." Yeah, you take out like a little snow.
Her
you're like,
mom is
"Look."
Turbo.
Like, no,
yeah.
look, this
Documentary.
is actually Turbo.
But yeah, so Turbo like speeds around the track eventually.
Yep.
And
Eventually.
and a video of it goes absolutely viral like instantaneously.
Well, I mean, it is a
Well, like,
snail
yeah,
with
of course
blue
it's a
lightning
snail.
shooting out
Sure,
of him.
sure.
Yeah.
But I just thought that was funny because like virality in 2013 isn't. I guess it was. Yeah, I guess it's closer to.
Wasn't
to
there,
now
like-
than it
Yeah.
But there was still like
There was
No, there was still
stuff.
viral. Yeah, no, I guess you're right.
I do love how they
Um,
did show the viral video, and half of it is the kid
Yeah.
Yeah.
just like him facing the camera. Like,
Yeah.
like, dude, there's a snail going faster than God, and you're just shooting yourself right now.
But yeah, so after that video, they agree to let Turbo into the Indy 500.
Somehow.
and, well, because Guy like encourages it. He's like, yeah,
Paul?
let him in. Yeah, Guy Paul.
Yeah.
And then you find out that Guy's actually a bit of a Debbie Downer.
An
He's not a
awful
good guy.
person.
Yeah, he's a
yeah,
terrible dude.
little twist.
Yeah, so Turbo goes in to check out Guy's garage, and he's there, and he just talks him down the whole time. He's like, "You're never gonna win this. You're a silly little snail,
Yeah.
little garden snail."
Little garden snail.
Yeah, he hates him. But so then, I mean, kind of speaks for herself. They race.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
race.
they race.
They race. Yeah, Guy has a handsome lead for a while. Until Sam Jackson, I'd already forgot Whiplash. I already
so.
forgot
It's
his
just-
name.
Sam
yeah,
Jackson.
that's
Just Sam
Whiplash.
Jackson tells Turbo to race like a snail. 'Cause he's
Yeah,
been
don't
racing like
race
the
like a
cars.
car, race
Don't-
like a
He's trying to
snail.
go around him, and it's not working.
Yeah.
And he's too small. So he's like race like a snail, and he starts going under the cars.
Yeah.
Right. And he
That
starts going
stressed
crazy.
me out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I was having a panic.
I was on the edge of my seat there.
They had this like I don't know if it was really a montage, more as like a just like Turbo just like doing its thing during the race.
Okay.
But they had a remix of Eye of the Tiger.
Oh, yeah, they did.
Dude, full goosebumps the whole time. and like
Insane.
yeah, like any sports movie where they like get to a montage of them like coming back.
That
and
is
like
always the
being
best
the
part,
underdog
yeah.
is like
Mhm.
my favorite part, and it gets me going. But for some reason it was like a little extra hype. I don't know. I like had tears in my eyes. I'm not even gonna lie.
What?
I was like going crazy.
Okay, let's calm
I don't
down.
know.
In
Maybe it was the
2013
remix.
or now?
No, now. Like, maybe it was the remix, but I was like, dude, I want this guy to win. Like I was like amped for this like ending to this race. Already like knowing the end, but I was like, this is amazing.
Yeah, fair.
It's
Yeah.
great. Like I
Well,
was.
once you put like the remix in, it's like, oh man, this is gonna be good.
Yeah, it was. It
That's
was.
how you know
I
it's gonna
started
be
like
good.
my
Yeah.
breath
If it was
started
just a
getting
normal
short.
song,
yeah, it was,
whatever.
Yeah,
But
I
they
know.
remix of
remixed
Eye of the
it.
Tiger.
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm surprised Snoop didn't do it.
I thought it was.
Could you imagine Snoop doing Eye of the
Thought it was
Tiger?
That
gonna
would have been insane. I'm writing them. They need to do it right.
Turbo 2.
But yeah, finishing up the plot, he gets into a pretty bad accident and makes a comeback from that, which is great.
Yep.
And Guy causes an accident that leaves everyone backed up on the last lap.
Yeah,
Right.
There's probably a couple. I don't know about deaths, but there's some
Pretty
serious
close,
injuries
pretty
here.
close.
Yeah.
He was such a hater.
Yeah.
Yeah, he turned to be a pretty bad
Crazy.
guy. Yeah.
But Turbo's powers go away because his shell like gets cracked. Right?
Yeah.
He literally like smacks it or something.
Yeah. And he has to slowly make his way to the finish. after a pep talk from his brother. His brother finally comes around.
Yeah, via
He's a good
Crow.
guy.
Yeah.
Via Crow. And then he really tries to push towards the finish line, slow, just like in the beginning.
And he's trying to literally stomp him.
Yeah. he's a lunatic, and
yeah.
he literally pulls his car like a madman. And he literally drags his car to the finish line.
It was
and
such like a super villain moment.
He jumps to win by a hair, but Turbo wins because he tucks and rolls, which is a thing that his family and all the snails do when they're trying to avoid the crows and the kid and all that stuff. So he basically pops into his shell and then he rolls, and that's pretty much
he became a snail.
He raced like a snail.
Exactly. He did it. But so Tito and his friends get they get upgrades galore. I mean, it's crazy. With the money they won.
Yeah, new
Indy
taco
500.
truck and all
crazy.
that, yeah.
Because they're like, you just had a snail in there.
Yeah. And they get all the business and everything. And then the snail gang races in front of a crowd at the taco place, all with powers now.
Yeah.
Which, I never really understood that, but whatever. And then Snoop plays the outro song.
Yeah. Damn
right he
which
does.
is dope. Yeah, it's really cool. So going into final thoughts, Jasmine, you want to start us out? How did it hold up? What do you think?
On your 30-second rewatch?
Yeah, what's your final takes on this?
So watching it the first few times I watched it, I mean, as we said, I literally hated this movie. I thought it was so dumb. You're a snail. What are you doing?
Little garden snail.
And then it resonated, and this is so stupid. But it was I'm in Disney, right? COVID happens. We all get sent home. For some reason, I'm I want to watch Turbo. So I'm watching this movie, and I'm oh man, his dreams just got crushed, and my dreams got crushed.
Yeah.
I'm oh man, I want to go back to Disney, and he doesn't know if he's going to race again. I was this is just so relatable. And then I'm why am I relating to this snail?
The parallels.
So it's just right time, right
It was
moment
just
kind of thing.
And now I can't stop watching it. I'm this is my comfort movie. But I did find out, and this was my fun fact that I told you I couldn't say yet.
Yeah.
Ryan's never seen this movie.
Are you serious?
I found that out yesterday.
That's crazy.
We're getting married, and this man has never
Jasmine's
seen my favorite
fiance,
movie.
Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Shout out.
He's never seen it?
No, he's
Well,
only
that's just
yesterday.
That's impossible.
So now I gotta go home and
Gotta
watch
fix
Turbo
that.
again.
Yeah, you gotta watch it with him.
One more
he's
time.
gotten wonderful breakdown from us all, so he already
Yeah.
knows
That's
what's
true.
going on. But that's
Snoop's
incredible.
in it.
So yeah, there you go. He's
That's
got
the
his guy.
ultimate pitch.
You have to
yeah.
watch.
It's a documentary about my mom and Snoop Dogg
With
is in
Snoop
it.
Dogg.
Yeah.
And
What more
Fast
do you
and
want?
Furious, The Flash, and every movie.
And Cars
all
and-
time.
Cars.
Rocky.
But so it holds up again.
Yeah.
It's always gonna hold up.
It's
I
always
think, in your
gonna hold
opinion.
up.
To the
Yeah.
end of time.
So Pelton, final thoughts?
I thought it was okay.
Okay.
Yeah, we've definitely seen worse
Yeah, definitely
on
seen
this
worse.
show, but I think we've seen better on the show as well.
Possibly.
I just, to be honest, I never
think so.
really got into it.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I
that's
never really cared about the story or anything. Never did a good job of pulling me in.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was short, so that's always a plus.
Yeah, with the animated movies.
Yeah,
it's
and then you
nice.
could tell it definitely was. I get the complaint of it's not being super original
Yeah.
because there's a
Yeah.
lot of inspiration.
Yeah.
Like, maybe if I watched this as a kid, I wouldn't have picked up on that 'cause it's
Probably.
my first time getting introduced to stuff like
Mhm.
that.
Yeah.
But now watching it, studying movies and making
Right.
movies, I'm I know, okay, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it was fine.
Yeah. Okay. Personally, I liked it a lot. I thought the story held up, and the animation was probably the best we've seen so far. Obviously,
Yeah, I would
because
agree with that, I think.
2013,
Yeah.
it makes sense. And it's DreamWorks, and they've really got their thing down
Yeah.
at this point.
DreamWorks has always been really good with animation.
Exalt the
Yeah.
Hedge still holds up too.
Yeah.
That was good.
Thank God we ended with a good movie for this season.
Yeah, because
next
next week, should we say a little bit about what next week is? Or should we just kind of make it a surprise?
Yeah. Well, let's
we'll finish this. Yeah,
and then we'll get to that. So, yeah.
He's
So
very articulate about
I
schedule.
yeah. I think I liked Chicken Little and Over the Hedge better. We'll
I
figure that
agree,
out. Again,
yeah.
tune in next week. We're about to announce that right now. And I had a lot of fun watching this. And one final thought about this movie. I can't believe this got greenlit. So, okay. Thank you, Jasmine, for coming on the show.
Of
Thank you for
course.
choosing a wonderful movie for us to end the season 1 run on, really.
Yeah, that's true.
Because next week is our season 1 finale.
Yeah, it's
official.
over. Yeah,
Official.
season 1 is done.
Season 1 is over. And we're not going to have a guest. It's just going to be Pelton and I. And
Yep.
we're not covering a movie next week.
No movie.
So no movie.
Just us.
We're just going to be doing a couple of fun little games, which we're very excited
About the movies we've watched.
about the movies we've watched, which I'm pumped about. And yeah, just kind of recapping the season and
Yep.
kind of
We'll also do a
talking
ranking.
about rankings,
Yeah.
and we're gonna talk about what the future of I Can't Believe This Got Greenlit is. And yeah, it should be a great time.
Yeah,
I'm
we got
very
cool stuff
excited.
planned. Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah. But yeah,
That's a
thank you all for
surprise.
listening. Yeah, tune in next week for our season 1 finale. think that's.
I can't believe this got greenlit.
Yeah, I can't believe this got greenlit. Thanks, everyone.
Almost the end of
See you next
season
week.
1. Last movie of season 1.
See ya.
Goodbye.